On Thursday, fintech firm and NYSE-listed FICO announced a new partnership with fintech firm Plaid that will bring cash flow data to credit scores. But that's not the only move Plaid has made lately. Its COO, Eric Sager, sat down with J.D. Durkin at October's Money 2020 USA event in Las Vegas to talk about how it's focusing more on next-gen insights and analytics. Take a listen.
Behind those rollouts?
Yeah, we're very excited about that. Originally we built Plaid, kind of the core kind of open banking, open finance layer, which helps consumers kind of move their data to where they want to use their services. And now we're really focused on the next generation of kind of insights and analytics solutions that help consumers get value out of that data. So in the case of fraud, obviously you as a consumer, you want to be protected by fraud. We can help make that happen with the data and the real-time nature of the solutions that we have. On the credit side, you as a consumer want to be able to share your data so you can get better offers. So imagine, you want to apply for a credit card, you want to make sure you get the best terms, the best rate, the best limit, or you want to apply for a mortgage. And so we're not just helping move the data from your bank accounts to whoever it is you're applying to, we're now also layering in the insights and the analytics to make sure that company can make the best possible decision about you so that you get the best possible product.
Eric, I imagine there's a bit of a latency issue with this, right? In terms of traditional credit reporting, the major credit agencies may only reflect some of your credit-based activity that goes back several weeks or goes back several months, and I know that's largely what you're trying to work on. With LensScore, you're bringing that real-time data, so how challenging was that to kind of shorten that latency period for customers?
There's a lot of work and preparation that went into it. Like you said, some of the other data sources, they can be on a lag. Oftentimes it can take weeks or even months for that data to show up. With us, the data shows up real time. And so it's the real time nature of that connection that allows lenders to make the best possible decision, and that ultimately leads to you as a consumer getting better offers.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say at this point, Plaid is essentially a household name. You touch more than half of all Americans across the United States. What does that scale, that accessibility allow Plaid to do that maybe others in the space can't quite do?
There's a few things. We've had some amazing customers over the years. I think we've also always really focused on the consumer first. So while we never charge consumers, our focus has always been on how do we make sure that the products and solutions that we develop really create value for consumers first and foremost. And so that started with the core aggregation solutions that we initially brought to market that help power things like Robinhood and many of these other innovations where without, I think, our infrastructure, maybe it would have been a little bit more difficult for some of these things to exist and for consumers to kind of reap the benefits. But now we're in a world where more than one in two Americans has used Plaid, so there's a familiarity with it, like you said. So increasingly, when you see Plaid, you say, okay, that's something I trust. I know that's somewhere where I'm going to get a good outcome. And as a result, you're more likely to kind of share your data. And then because you're sharing your data in combination with the analytics and insights that we now provide, you are able to get a better experience as a consumer as well.
Tell me a bit more what it looks like in practice to not just be an open banking platform, but to really also be an analytics platform as well.
The key is taking that next step. So when a consumer initially, if you're just an open banking platform, you're just really helping them move the data, right? If you're an analytics platform, an insights platform, now you're not only are you helping them move the data, you're actually helping get a better outcome. And so there's a whole host of lenders out there. We want to make sure that every lender, when they ask you as a consumer to connect your account, that they're in the absolute best position possible, for example, to make whatever is the best decision at the time, right? And there's many use cases. It's not just lending. Like I said, it applies to anti-fraud, it applies to onboarding, it applies to so many things that consumers go through every single day. But the goal is always the same. How do we make sure that from a consumer's point of view, we get them to the best possible outcome?
Eric, you and I could not go very far on this floor without someone referencing the word agentic, the new age of agentic commerce. Throw a stone, 10 people are talking about it, but rightfully so here at Money 2020. How do you most suspect Plaid can take advantage of the emerging world of agentic commerce, and what does that mean to you?
I think for us it's another inflection point, and I think it will make Plaid even more relevant. At the end of the day, we've been at this for a long time. I think we've built the most trusted kind of financial data network in the world today. And that starts with the brand and reputation that we have with consumers, with the ease of use, with the ability to make sure that that data is secure, that a consumer has control over what they want to do with that data. And so in an AI world, I think that is only even going to be more important, right? Just put yourself in a consumer's shoes. In the past, you were asking maybe Plaid or someone else to share that data with another person. Now you're going to ask to share that data with an agent. I think that is only going to increase the need for a kind of a trusted brand and the capabilities that we've developed over the years.
Talk to me finally about more growth you're seeing across the business and your outlook, your guidance, not just for the rest of Q4, but really as we turn the page before we know it into 2026?
I mean, I think it's been really exciting. I mean, I think we've seen a lot of our fintech customers not just go public, right, which has been a great part of the story, but also continue to have a lot of success in the market. And so many of those customers have been with us for literally years. I mean, I've been with Plaid for 7 years, and for many of these folks, like I met them at the very beginning when I first joined, and they're still with us and growing with us. And so that's been fantastic to see. But at the same time, we've also continued our move up market, right? So we're continuing to do more with big banks, and frankly, with companies that are, for the very first time, are building embedded financial solutions. So, companies that like traditionally you wouldn't really think of like financial services companies or fintech companies, but they're also coming to the realization that like there's a lot of solutions that they want to be able to provide to their consumers, where this type of data is incredibly relevant, and so they partner with us to make sure that they can provide the best possible solutions as well.
Yeah, it's an excellent platform.
Thanks, Plaid COO Eric Sager and JD Durkin for that interview. We have plenty more to